right, Roger. GP 190, first race up this weekend. These riders between the ages of 11 and 14. Put yourself back in their position. How nerve-wracking is this?
It's nervous. There's a lot on the line for all these riders, and even at a young age that they've been racing each other since they were on the 110s, a lot of the guys at the front. So you start already building those rivalries from a young age, and you come here and there's a lot on the line for these kids.
We talked about the fact that, you know, they get the AMA #1 plate. Dunlop is giving the winners the guitar. They also have the opportunity, if you finish on the podium at the end of this championship weekend, to be part of the Dunlop Team Elite for 2026. The consideration for that's a huge program as well.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity, not only for the getting the free tires. I mean, that's a huge part of all these riders program, but also part of their social media as well, helping you get your name out there to sponsors.
You can see all the riders making their way to the grid positions. Madi Salem, our pole sitter here in this category, had a lot of success here last weekend. He was quickest in both of the practice sessions yesterday as well.
Also, Jamie, in this class, if you win the title, you get a free entry for Talent Cup if that's the next step that you're wanting to take. So that's a great opportunity and something else that adds a little bit more pressure on these young guys.
That's a great point. Talent Cup, the North America Talent Cup here as part of the MotoAmerica Championship system for this season. Riders starting at 14 years old, and if they're old enough and they're ready, that's a great little carrot for them to be chasing this weekend.
Yeah, and that's big, and we've seen how competitive that class has been this year and the way it's grown, and just so many young, talented riders, and you got to think a lot of these young kids are looking at that for their next step.
I think we had a hole on the grid, maybe on the third row. We'll see once everyone's in their grid positions. We'll take a look at the starting grid. How everyone stacks up after qualifying. Here's a look at it, Roger. We talked about Madi being our pole sitter.
We see Connor Raymond there in the middle of the front row, and Jace Deal.
Kinzai Matsujura and row number 2. Dexter Daytona Salvadera at road position number 5.
See Seth Kimnitz there 7th, Gabriel Daddis 8th, and Sawyer there in 9th.
We have 15 total riders here. Saw Parker Bussey there on row 4. Row 5, Blake Sorrentino, one of the riders. We talked to him a little bit earlier today and hoping to make some ground up after qualifying. All right, 15 riders qualified for the race this afternoon. 10 laps, Roger.
That's a long race for these young riders, too. You think about 10 laps not being very long, but for these young riders, a lot of them say this track's a lot bigger than what they're used to. So it's only 10 laps, but it's a long time for these young guys.
So everyone's making their way out there. I'm just looking out the window. Looks like maybe middle of row 3 we're missing someone.
Also see somebody on the grid there in the first or second row with their hand up. Maybe they stalled their bike and they're trying to get it started.
Yeah, some people at the fence line looking out as well. All right, visors down. Looks like we're ready to go racing.
It's going to be tight through here on that opening lap. Jamie, you see how tight it is through that chicane, but everybody looks like they're going to make it through clean.
10 laps on the horizon. It's the same track layout they qualified with earlier today. See, Madi had a great start. He's out front. We'll keep you updated on the running order as we go through these 10 laps. I'm talking with Madi, our pole sitter, who's leading currently. Earlier today, you know, one of the big things for him is just being on a bike each and every weekend, and that certainly has given him an advantage over the last season.
And Madi is last year's 190 champion, so he's coming back trying to retain that crown that he got. Looks like Kenzie Matsuura, good start there in second. Top 4 starting to break away a little bit from the rest of the pack.
On this size bike, Roger, when there is a breakaway pack, how hard is it to get back up to them if you don't have a draft?
It's hard, especially if you don't have that pace. You start taking a lot of chances for these young riders. So you definitely want to get up there early, not just the draft, but have that little carrot there in front of you.
Jay Still is sitting in third right now, also qualified third. These are our front three. Sitting in fourth is Seth Kimnitz. Young 12-year-old rider. He's one of the younger ones in this front group here.
Top three, bunching up a little bit.
And Jay Still, just 11 years old. He's the youngest rank that you can be to compete on these 190s. So for him, he has a lot of years left to be able to gain some of this experience. It's a great start for him. This is going to be a big encourager as he looks to make a move up for second.
Yeah, that's a great pass around the outside going into that chicane on Kinsey. Now, see what he can do for the lead.
When we get to the bigger bikes, Roger, we talk about going from bike to bike, but here for these kids, a lot of them competing in multiple categories, going from bike to bike, does that help them or does it present different challenges?
I think it gives them different challenges, which in the end is going to help them. We talked to some riders this morning talking about moving up to the 190 class and how big of a challenge it was, the speed of the bike. So I think that really makes the kids have to really learn a lot faster and really lock in. Is Connor Raymond maybe in second place there on the 44, qualifying on the front row. It's hard to see the number.
He was quick. It is the number 44. You're right. He was quick in the first qualifying session earlier this morning, and he had a lot of momentum, he said, coming off of that. It gave him a lot of confidence going into this afternoon. It looks like he's been able to put that to work. So in third place right now, it looks like this is where we have Kenzie. Quickest lap of the race so far going to Jay Still. In terms of tire wear on this size bike, this length of track, 10 laps, do they need to worry about it?
No, I don't think they have a problem right here. We're going to try to see a lead, pass for the lead right there. Connor Raymond not able to make it stick.
But now Marty knows he's there. 6 laps remaining.
Connor just looks like he has good pace. We've seen him make this pass a couple laps before around the outside. Not close enough, but you can see he's getting a little bit impatient. He knows he's got the speed to maybe get in the lead and pull away.
He said it when we talked to him earlier today. He said he had a lot of confidence, and
he had that smile, that confident smile a kid has when they know that they're going to be on pace and have a good day.
Had a little bit left in the pocket after the second qualifying session, but he's been able to learn from Marty. Sitting behind him for a couple of laps now. We'll see if he goes to make another pass. This is where he was stronger the lap before.
That lap, you see Marty didn't open the door this time. Can see Connor just how he's kind of lining up outside, inside. He's trying to figure out a way to make a run and be able to make that pass. Marty just made a little bit of mistake to that chicane over the curb.
Give Connor enough room. Not able to take advantage of it there. Our front four still pulling away.
Kinsey kind of fell off this group in the fourth place rider. Now they're starting to bunch back up.
As this race progresses, Roger, do you see the riders getting a little bit smarter, or you mentioned how long it is, second half of the race now, are they starting to fall off a little?
I think they're trying to figure out where they're better and worse, and I think for Connor now, he has opportunities, he knows where he can pass. And I think as this race winds down, he's going to start forcing the issue in a couple more places.
Jay Still holding up the tail end of this group of 4. Mentioned the fact they're going 4 different races this weekend, all being scored with the same championship point standings as the MotoAmerica category. So winner takes 25, second place takes 23rd, at 16th, and then fourth here that you see will be a 13 points awarded. So these points adding up for the 4 races, you have the most at the end of the weekend, and that makes you the champion.
See if Connor trying to wind this pass up in the last corner. Just hasn't been as close as he has the previous laps.
The lap before, we saw Madi looking over his shoulder. And so he's at the point of the race now where his head's down. He's not looking to see who's back there anymore. It is about going forward here for him and not opening the door again.
And Connor wants to make a pass, but you know, with Kenzie's so close to him, he doesn't want to open up the door to give him a shot to make a move on Hill. Kenzie looks to the inside right now. Able to make it stick. Now he's in second.
Now Kenzie moves up into second place. We'll see if Connor has anything for him.
For Madi, he's did a great job. He has not put a wheel wrong, and he's got 3 riders been breathing down his neck this whole race. You can hear the rider behind you. You can hear him going left. You can hear him going right. He still has not put a wheel wrong as they get into lap traffic.
All right, now you see the scoring pylon on the left-hand side of your screen. We're working the second to last lap and starting to catch some traffic. What do these young riders need to keep in mind here, Roger?
Yeah, you just want to try to make a good, clean pass and try not to lose too much ground. It looks like everybody got through there pretty clean. And you see Kenzie starting to look up the inside in a couple places now, really strong on the brakes.
Connor was right there. All right, white flag is out. The final lap of 10 for our first race of the weekend. Madi Salem's been able to lead from the word go.
Kenzie last lap on the top of this hill made it look on the inside. We're going to see if he's going to be doing it this lap. But look at Madi. Great line by him closing off that engine.
But here on the final lap, that was a pass for the lead. Kenzie now out front. Can he hold on to it with Madi right there behind him? He looks over his shoulder.
Connor's going to try to make a move into second.
Kenzie having to stay defensive. You see the checkered flag flying, and at the line, like it might have been Kenzie.
Kenzie spun up out of that last corner and kind of lost his momentum, almost got passed at the line.
It's a battle for fifth coming to the line. See the riders with their hands up. Fifth place going to Seth Kimnitz. But Kenzie Matsuura, he was sat back inside of the top 4 for the full race, watched the riders in front of him, and able just to pick it up right there at the end.
What a race. I mean, it was just fun watching those kids go to battle and trying to figure out their race strategy.
He's 14 years old. He's one of the young riders who would be eligible to take advantage of the opportunity to race next season in the MotoAmerica Talent Cup.
Kenzie also does a lot of races overseas as well, so he's got a lot of experience.
These riders having another race later on this afternoon, Roger. What do they do when they go back to their pit area and try and get themselves mentally ready for it?
I think they just talk to their parents, or if they have a coach, and just figure out where they could be better, or maybe where they thought they could have made a pass.
All right, you see your race 1 results. Kenzie Matsuura taking the race victory here in the GP 190 category. Madi Salem are from the pole, finishing in second. And then Connor Raymond, he was right there at the end, but he was able to round out the top 3.
Yeah, then Jace Deal and Seth Kimnitz there rounding out the top 5.
You can really see on that graphic that breakaway of the top 4 and the split between them. we're all within 0.2 of a second, 0.3 of a second. The top four were between each other, and then 14 seconds back to 5th place. So some work to do later on this afternoon for race number 2, but this is a solid way to start off the weekend.
Solid weekend, solid race. I hope all the races come down to the last lap like that. And it's going to be fun to see that second race and see the changes that these riders make, where they learn their racecraft and learn where they could have made a pass, or where maybe they were leaving the door open in this race 1.
Next category that we will have take to the racetrack will be the Stock 110 class. And Roger, if someone's just tuning in for the first time, between the GP 190 and the Stock 110, age differences, of course, the riders get younger in the stock classes. Is for ages 8 to 12-year-old riders. What else will be different?
Well, just the engine size as well. The riders will be a little bit younger, and they will also, some of the riders in this class that will be really fast will ride some of the other ones, but be kind of the young dog in that class. So the biggest thing is just the top speed.
Let's go ahead and hear from our first race winner of the weekend. Say good afternoon to Kenzie. Congratulations on that victory. We watched you inside of the top 4 there for the whole race. What were you picking up on from the competitors that told you could make that move to get to the lead?
Well, I'm really heavy for this bike, so they would get me a little bit in the straights, but I figured out that if I brake a little bit later, I'd be able to catch them. And then the last lap, I was able to get a good drive out of turn 3, stay with him up the hill into the uphill chicane, and then he made a very defensive line going into turn 6, so I was able to take advantage of that, go wide, get a better drive, and make a move up the inside into 7. So, yeah, great racing by Madi, Connor, Jace. It was a great battle with all of them, and, yeah, looking forward to race 2.
Going into that race, you were really patient early on. Was that the plan, to be patient early, then make the attack toward the end?
Honestly, going into the race, I didn't really have a solid plan. Just see how I can do. So after the first couple laps behind Madi, I just decided to take it a little bit easier, follow him, see what I can do. And then Connor passed me, so I had to pass him back, figure out a plan how to pass him. And then, yeah, overall, it was a good race.
What do you hope to change or improve on for later on this afternoon?
Hopefully I'll be able to just maintain this. Hopefully make a good pass towards the end of the race and hold that. Yeah, want to be on the top step again.
All right, well, congratulations on race number 1 victory here today. We'll see what you can do later on today.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Welcome back to the Briggs and Stratton Motorplex on the property of Road America, here for the AMA MotoAmerica Mission Mini Cup National Final. We have 6 different classes that are here on the property. If you are just now joining us, you have missed the first of 4 races for all 6 categories that will take place over today as well as tomorrow. It is now time for the second race of each of the 6 different categories, starting things off with the GP 190. Here is the starting grid, the same as race number 1, and Madi Salem continues as our pole sitter, Roger.
Yeah, and you look at the second row, Kenzie Matsudur, who actually won race 1.
See Dexter Daytona Salaveria there in the middle of row number 2. We have 15 riders here in the GP 190. As we go back to row number 3, you have Seth Chemnitz, Gabriel Datis, and Sawyer Lafayette.
Row 4, Parker Bussey, Cooper Glover.
And then 12th is Artur Pino Castellanos. Going back to row number 5, Stefan Tanasic alongside Andrew Berner and Blake Sorrentino. These riders between the ages of 11 and 14 making their way to their grid positions, 2 qualifying sessions earlier today to set the field here on this track configuration. Tomorrow morning we will set the field on the reverse track configuration at number 2. All results from the 4 races will be combined. We've talked about the heat, the humidity in the area. Roger, while it has been beautiful blue skies all morning, you can see clouds starting to form in the distance.
Yeah, it could rain. I know there's a small chance this afternoon. But for these riders, we do race in the rain, so it'd be a great experience for them if it does get wet.
So race in the rain, but once there's thunder and lightning, that becomes the challenge, but great opportunity for everyone. Same conditions. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Exciting lap complete for the GP 190 category. Go back to the race earlier. I mentioned Kenzei Matsudaira able to win race number 1. Back on row number 2, original grid position. So now underway for the warm-up lap.
This was one of our closest races so far today. We had the top 4 riders all within a half a second. So it's going to be another tight battle, I think, with 4 riders out front.
And it was a drag race to the line, less than a tenth of a second separating our front 2. So we'll have to see how this one unfolds. A lot on the line for these young competitors. You think about there is an AMA number 1 plate, coveted, being handed out after the 4 races are finished. 25 points for a win, 20 points for seconds. Same point system that we use in all of the MotoAmerica national events. 3rd place, of course, with 16 points. So get an idea of the spread, awarding points all the way down to 15th place. Points will be totaled after the 4 races, and that's how we will crown our champions. In the case of some of these riders that are old enough, if they are able to win their category and they're 14 years old, they'll get an invite into the North American Talent Cup for next season.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity, and for a lot of these riders, I know they have their eye on that.
Back to grid positions. It is time to race here. Race number 2. GP 190 category. You see Madi Salem there, a great start from the pole position, but the pressure is there immediately.
Yeah, another good start there for Connor Raymond as well, as they all make it through that first chicane clean. See Kenzei Matsudaira there worked his way into 3rd already, and Jay Steele 4th. Race 1, Connor was a little bit patient with Madi, and I think that cost him toward the end of the race. It left the door open for Kenzei to make the move. So I think Connor might be a little bit more aggressive early on in this race. As you see Kenzei making the move, made that pass race 1 as well. Great pass for Kenzei there. Now he's in the 2nd.
Yeah, for Kenzei able to get around Connor from on that first lap, that's going to give him more of an opportunity to fight for a win at the end, not have to take it all the way down to the stripe. But that means for Madi, he has to stay smart for all 10 of these laps. He's going to have the pressure. We see these front 4 opening up a gap again. We saw this in race number 1 as well. This is 10 laps. 1 already gone for these young racers. They go fast, but at the same time, it's a lot of racing.
A lot of racing. But to your point, though, if you make a little mistake or you're trying to make a pass, those 10 laps will go quick. But you can see right now, Madi's got his head down. His body language on that motorcycle looks a little different in this race. A little bit more aggressive early on.
Talking to him back in the paddock, though, you know what a fierce competitor he is, having won this event last season and then taking that experience racing in Spain, racing in as a wild card in the Asian Talent Cup, and being the pole sitter this weekend, missing out on that race win in the opening round. You could see how badly he wanted it.
And he wants to win those races, but also he doesn't want to give up those points that he gave up to Kenzei, so he knows he needs to get that win today. And you can see right now he has about a half a second gap.
Connor Raymond staying right there to be able to pounce should Kenzei make a mistake or Madi have an issue. holding on to that top 3, but this is a good ride for Jay Still as well. Looking at the lap times, 54.3 in the case of Kinsey. That is already better than what he qualified at. Almost as quick as he was able to go in the first race earlier. Now we're down to the 53.9, so these lap times continuing to fall with the clouds moving in. They're able to certainly go back and take note of what they learned in race number 1 and apply it here in the early stages of race number 2. Oh, and Kinsey not wanting to wait till the end, able to make the move around Madi Salem.
He just forced his way through there. Great pass by Kinsey. Aggressive pass, but a good one.
After not qualifying as high up as he wanted to, he knew he was going to have to be aggressive, and he certainly has been able to do that so far. Here in the second race, he earned 25 points in race 1, but Madi's saying, I don't know about that. I want back there, up there to the lead. Here's a replay of that pass.
Left-handers, it goes downhill there, just able to put himself in the right spot. That was a great pass by Kinsey. It's an aggressive pass in that corner because it's a fast little left-hander. Now, Madi's in second. The first race today, we've seen him in the lead and everybody taking shots at him. Now it's his turn to get in second, try to find a place where he can make a pass.
When you've led all weekend, Roger, how challenging is that?
It is challenging, and he knows now, though, where he's strong. Look at him going to the inside there. And this left-hander, we've seen Kinsey make a couple moves. Now Connor might be able to make a pass as well.
Yeah, Connor is not letting these two out of his sight, but you also have Jay Still right there behind him, holding on to 4th place, but going back and forth right now. It's allowing this group to stay together as we come to the stripe. Halfway now. Kinsey Matsudura continuing to lead. Madi Salem's looking, though. He's staying right there.
Yep. I think he thought that pass and he thought he had it done, but Kinsey was able to fight right back a couple corners later.
See him looking over their shoulder. How close are they?
Out of this right-hander is where we see Madi going into this left, make a pass the lap before. But look at Kinsey, the racecraft, staying on the left side of the track that lap, not letting that pass happen again.
Having sat behind Madi all of race 1, was able to pick up on a few things. Coming to the stripe now, 4 laps to go. The gap between these two starting to open up a little bit over 3rd and 4th place, but Connor Raymond still right there at 3rd, Jay Still in 4th.
Madi's looking. See if he might look up the inside there. Kinsey's too strong on the brakes.
See the clouds continuing to roll in, the sky getting darker and darker. You can see the trees blowing in the background. The weather certainly making its way here to the Briggs & Stratton Motorplex.
They really bunch up through the last couple corners here. The first part of the track, Madi and Kinsey are able to pull away a little bit, and they're able to close right back down this last half of the lap. Little mistake out of Madi. You see, trying to get a good drive out of the last corner.
Had to sit up just a little bit across the stripe now. 3 laps to go. And this battle has been much more aggressive than it was in race number 1.
There goes Madi.
To the inside. Can he hold it? Kinsey right there. Kinsey back to the lead. Little wiggle.
Good racing. Good pass. Let's see, Madi's going to fight right back.
Can look a couple turns up ahead of them, though. We're going to get into some traffic here, potentially on the next lap, lap and a half.
See, Madi's made a couple passes already, so he's kind of showed his hand in a couple of the corners where I think Kinsey will be blocking that move. Let's see if Kenzie leaves the door open as they head up to this right-hander this lap, or does he stay close to the inside?
Love the fact that a couple laps ago these two had pulled away from third and fourth, as Madi now looks to get back around, and Kenzie has forced off of the racetrack. Oh, and the two leaders, both of them down. That left the door wide open for Connor Raymond to go to the lead. Jay Still was still right there. You got to pick the bike up, collect as many points as possible. Close racing here in the GP 190 category. We'll see where they can fall back into line, if at all. It's like Kenzie having a little bit of an issue getting that bike refired. And the white flag now flying here on race number 2. Here's a replay. Look at our leaders.
Yeah, this is a great pass through there, and Kenzie runs off track. Able to, I don't know how that was going to play out there, but in this next corner, there just wasn't the room there that Madi thought there was, and got in there and just got into Kenzie. Tight racing, big, tough passes.
Go back up to the front, the number 44, Connor Raymond, now leading here on the final lap, and he no longer has that pressure from behind. Jay Still had been there with them the entire opening, what, 8.75 laps? And now
Madi's did a good job, got his bike up and still in third.
that gap that he opened up certainly playing dividends here, as the checkered flag, the win for race number 2 going to Connor Raymond. Jay Still finishing in second. See Madi Salem there, able to finish in third, bring home 16 more points in what is a championship weekend. But for Connor Raymond, that's why you don't give up. We saw that gap open up between himself and the front 2 riders, and he kept the pressure on, and he was right there.
He was right there, and just able to capitalize on a couple other riders' mistake, and that's all you can do. Connor did a great job, though, keeping himself in that fight.
He finished third in race number 1 earlier today. Able to take home 25 points here in race number 2, as you can see Rain in the distance. Here's a replay, another look at it.
Yeah, just tried to create a hole that wasn't there. And that happens when you're racing tight like that, a track that's hard to pass. You're kind of going back and forth and just made a little bit of a mistake.
The skies continuing to darken as we get into an afternoon of racing. Here's a look at race 2 results for the GP 190 class. A great ride for Connor Raymond, able to take home top honors ahead of Jay Still and Madi Salem.
Dexter there, top 5 and 4th, and Seth Kimnitz 5th, Parker Bussey 6th.
Sawyer Lafayette, Kenzai Matsudura able to pick the bike up and finish in 8th, ahead of Artur Pino Castellanos and Andrew Berner, rounding out our top 10. In total, there were 5 riders not able to finish the race here in race number 2, all forcing to retire. As you can see the rain off in the distance from our fantastic drone camera here on site.